I'm getting a little bit of a confusing message, so if you could give me a thumbs up and let me know if you can hear me okay, that would be absolutely fantastic. I'm just keen to see messages popping up in chat as well, just to make sure that I've got I've got everything working okay. I probably will be scooting around here and just making sure that, oh, hello, who's that? Dawn and Anne, hi. Excellent, you can hear me okay. And you are here. Hi, Natalie, welcome. Excellent. All right, so I am back on Prism, and this time I'm delivering, Matt style, from home, delivering a recording, and that's the next thing that we're going to cross our fingers for and hope that the media comes in okay. So we are still here in Pelora, where I took you down to see the abandoned cottages, and then we went down to the water's edge the other day. That was a lovely walk, and I hope you all enjoyed that. For anyone who's joining me later, my name's Lynn, and we are currently in Spain, up on the North Atlantic coast of Spain. And what I'll do is I'll actually just turn the camera around so you can see where I'm sitting. I'm on the first level. There we go. On the first level, in a little breakout space. Hi Cynthia, great to see you. And here we are. This is our hotel, and there's this kind of little breakout space with a lounge room down here, that room there. Our room's upstairs, but the Wi-Fi is pretty awful. So I decided to use my own data, come down here where we've got a nice space to sit and show you this amazing view. So it's 6 o'clock at the moment, 6 p.m, and sunset's going to be in that direction at around about 7:45. So hopefully we'll get a chance to see the sun as it goes down at the end of the tour. So remind me, if I look like I'm not going to show you the view, I'll remember. But if I look like I'm not going to show you the view, that's what we're going to finish with, looking in that direction. All right, so I did forget to bring my tripod down, so I'm going to be holding the gimbal, sitting at the table the entire time, which isn't very practical. But let's turn the camera back round again, back to, there we go. It is a gorgeous view, isn't it, Dawn? It's absolutely gorgeous. Hi, Sarah, lovely to see you. And the others who have joined and haven't said hello yet, I'd love to see your names and faces show up. It's always lovely to see who's joined. All right, so let's recap a little, because today we are off to Toledo. And just to remind you all, let's see if I can work this. I've got to expand this up like that. There we go. All right, so the blue, no, back a bit. The red, that was the first tour that we did when we first arrived in Toledo. I took you on a walk above the city. We started at the city gate and we walked around. We finished near the El Greco Museum, if you recall, and saw the lovely views. We looked down over the river and saw the beautiful cathedral and walked past the synagogue. We were walking through the Jewish quarter, and that was really beautiful. So the second tour that we did was the blue route, and that was when we went down and walked along the river's edge. So we walked along the riverside, along the Tagus River, which was beautiful. And then the third tour that we did was the green one, where we went actually down to the flatland below the city wall, and the park was closed, if you remember. We couldn't get into the park. I was going to show you the Circus Maximus, like the one in Rome, but unfortunately the park was closed due to the wind that day. But we did come back up via the escalators, the series of 6 escalators that come back up from the bottom up to the top to the old city. And today we're going to do the yellow route. So we're starting near where we were staying. That's Calle Real. Calle means street, and we're starting near there. We're going to head towards the Alcazar, and then we're going to go past we're going to go into the ancient mosque, which is that Mezquita de Cristo de la Luz. So that's what we're doing today. Now let's see if I can get rid of this now. How do I get rid of it? Oh, I don't know what to do. How do I get rid of this? with me? I've got to try and get back. Maybe I do a slidey thing. Ah, there we go. All right, so that's all good. So let's get started. We're going to do a city walk through the streets of Toledo because there's no signal there. It's an ancient town. It dates to 2,000 years. It's all stone. There's high, narrow streets between high city walls, high building walls, and there's no signal there at all. So that's why I did a recording. And remember that I'm a tourist, so I don't have a great deal of knowledge. I'll try to learn as much as I can about Toledo, and I'll try and share my experiences. But let's walk through the streets together and observe what we see as we walk through the streets together. Okay, so let's bring that video in and let's see if it works. Okay, we're going to expand it and we're going to press play. And the first thing I want to know is, well, that doesn't matter if there's no sound because I'm going to talk to you. So we started after we'd had a coffee and Richard headed off back to the apartment. And the first thing we see here is the crest, the coat of arms for the city of Toledo, and it's near the Fine Arts Museum. So it's on the wall of the Fine Arts Museum, and that's what that's basically saying there. The Royal Academy of Fine Arts, Beaux-Arts, and remarkable are the beautiful doors. And we'll see lots of those as we walk through the city streets. Tienda means shop or store, and we'll see a few of those as well. And we come across, it's early in the morning, it's still, oh, hello Annette, great to see you. It's still early morning, and oh, I've just ducked into a doorway because there's a car coming, look out. Okay, and you can see just how narrow these streets are. They get narrower, believe me. It is mind-boggling just how narrow the streets are through the city of Toledo. So it's still early. The doors of many of the shops are still closed. But coming up on our right is the first store that I'm actually going to take you inside. So I did a little nosy on the outside first. We looked at the menu. And you can see that illustration depicts Don Quixote and the windmills, which the town is famous for, the story of Don Quixote, because it's not very far from here where the whole story was based. Bocatas is like a sandwich, and there's a lot of ham and pork and bacon and pork products in this town. And you can see when we look through the door there, you might see some of the hams hanging from the ceiling. And then I spotted the guy coming out, so I turned the camera off. I went inside and I said, is it okay to video? And here we go. We can see just all the rows and rows of legs of ham, and they cut them super fine, and it's the most delicious. For those of you who are meat eaters, it is a very delicious ham. And then we see lots of these amazing cheeses as well, beautiful cheeses. The Manchego is the local cheese from La Mancha, and it is absolutely delicious, but there's numerous other varieties as well. I went out and bought a blue cheese today. We're going to have blue cheese and baguette for dinner. And you can see the hams over there, over the back, on the holder, the pedestal. And in a moment we'll see them again. That's where they do the slicing up on those stands. They've got two different kinds of hams up there, legs of ham, ready to be sliced. All right, so let's head out back into the street. It's mainly downhill the direction that we're heading. We're heading towards the main square. Let's take a look in the shop window first and see some of the specialty products, everything from jams and honey. And off we go again. There's quite a bit of work going on. It's an old city, it needs constant maintenance. And over there, the heladeria churreria, it means ice cream shop and churros shop. It's, yeah, there's no pavements, Dawn. It's basically you share the street with the cars. If you're lucky enough to see pot plants like this, hi Una, lovely to see you. Lucky enough to see pot plants like this, you can walk in between those if there's a car coming. Yeah, otherwise, it's ducking into doorways. So we're getting closer to the main square now, and we start to see a few more touristy shops. Toledo has become a tourist town. There are a great number of tourist souvenir shops, but these illustrations on the doors are lovely, and they depict, the one on the left depicts the Alcazar at the top right of that picture, which is an ancient fortified castle. Viandas means meat, and there's another depiction of the city, basically built up on a rock. So it's protected on all sides. We've got the river acting like a natural moat. And we're going to see a few jewellery stores and a few sword shops as well, but I took a little detour so I could have a look at this shop here, which sells, let me see, swords. Now, because there's so many sword shops, we find that some of them are themed. We've seen a Lord of the Rings shop. This one's obviously themed on the Marvel concept. Captain America. That is Marvel, isn't it? Someone's bound to correct me if it's not Marvel. I think it's Marvel. And then we have this black on gold. There's the coat of arms again on that plate in the middle. But a very Toledo thing is this black, gold on black. And then there's these little tin pieces of Don Quixote as well. Okay, let's keep walking. Now this, for those who love sandwiches and love ham, you're going to find this pretty good, pretty interesting. Now desayunos means breakfast, dulces means sweets, and of course salados, we know what that is. And the prices there, pretty reasonable for smaller items, up around 4 to 5 euros for salad. But when we get to have a look in the window, that just means other sandwiches or other food, I think. Here we go. Their claim is the world's best bocadillo. €5.50 for the big chunk of baguette filled with ham. And there we have a plate full of them ready to go once the shop door opens. It is very delicious, I have to say. And there's some kind of a pie there. I'm not even sure what the filling for that one is. All right, let's keep going. It is a good price, isn't it, Una? Here we have another artisan food shop. Marzipan is common here, so they're known for marzipan and sweets, pastry-style sweets. And then this shop. Hi Laurie, the gold and black plates, are they metal? I believe so, yes, I believe they are. So then we have like honey-coated peanuts and that sort of thing. And various dessert sauces being sold here. Yeah, I guess you could cut it in half, Dawn, and share. We tended to do that a couple of times. The other day we went for lunch where there was a menu of the day, a 3-course menu of the day, which was way more than we could eat for one person. So I ordered a sandwich and we shared the sandwich. We actually took the sandwich home and had it for dinner. because it was that size that you just saw. Now this is Spanish cork. These products here, we've got beautiful handbags, coasters and trivets with a ceramic tile in the middle but cork around the edge. There's sunglasses cases, there's wallets, and they all have at least some cork as part of the product. I didn't check the prices, so don't ask me, I'm sorry, but they are beautiful. And I would have loved to have bought something like that. But as you all know already, we're not buying anything at the moment. We've got very small suitcases and nowhere to put anything. So I found the fans a little bit expensive. There's some chatter going on in the background on the video. I think they were discussing which street they were in. And another sword shop. Look, Toledo Steel, another sword shop. Suit of armour. And at this point here, we've actually reached the entrance to Zocca. I don't know how to say it. Maybe someone can help me. Zocca de Ver, I think it is. Zoccodover. Zocca de Ver. Buy and post home. We would if we were on a more generous budget, Dawn, but we're actually watching our pennies as well. So this is the square. The bags were beautiful, weren't they, Sarah? Oh, very tempting. And you can see over there, there's the arch, and it's called the Blood Arch. I haven't had an opportunity to find out why it's called the Blood Arch, but this is the main town square, and there was a book fair going on. And these seats depict the story of Don Quixote. So there he is with his sidekick. Was it Pancho Sanchez? Is that his name? Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. And all these stalls here were opening, slowly getting opened for a book fair that was happening that weekend. There's another scene from the story of Don Quixote. Don Quixote. I know, I just had a little signal warning, so I'm hoping that everything is going smoothly and you're seeing it from your end okay. I chose this spot because I thought the signal was strong. So, not happy that I got a signal warning. Yeah, another signal warning. Thanks, Una, for letting me know. Let's all cross our fingers and hope that it holds right through. A few jumps, okay, that we can deal with. So then there's another, it's like a mini mural, isn't it, on tiles, telling another part of the Don Quixote story. And this board here is just announcing which authors will be speaking on that little stage that you might have noticed where there's some seats set up. So there's authors coming to speak throughout the book fair. No one that I knew. And here's old Don Quixote wrestling with the windmills. I think that was the main part of the story. I've never read it, so it's only what I've been told. So we've come across a little book, street library. Who else does this? When you see a street library, not only do you look through it, but you tidy it up as well. Guilty. Does everyone have little street libraries near where they are? I had to tidy it up while I was looking through to see if there was anything in English, because we're running out of things to read. Richard's reading a James Michener novel at the moment, and he's nearly finished that. So I was looking for, and I'd already read it, looking for anything that I could read. And sadly disappointed. We did happen to find one novel on the library shelves where we're staying, though, downstairs in English, and it's a James Patterson. So Richard's going to take that and replace it with the James Michener once he's finished it. Yeah, nothing there, nothing for me. Only one tiny library in my city centre. All local branches were closed. What about little street libraries like this though, Dawn? Do you have this sort of thing by the side of the road where it's just been set up by people voluntarily, and people will purge their own libraries, fill them up, donate the books for free, and then you can swap? They're amazing in Australia. We see them everywhere. And that's basically what this is. You can, free to take one, you can replace, you're invited to add your own and just swap as necessary. I love them. I think they're fantastic. So these people with their umbrellas, they're free city guides. We didn't make use of them. We did our own research and did our own exploring and wandering. But these guys with the green or orange or purple umbrellas are all free city walking guides. No street libraries here, but there are a few around the country, often in rural areas. Maybe it's something that'll grow, Dawn. Maybe people will like the idea and grow. We find that even in some suburbs in Sydney, you might find 3 or 4. Hi Lethargy, Claire, how you going? Great to see you. So this is the Blood Arch. We're going to go down and have a peek at the view through the Blood Arch. And again, as I said, I don't know the reason for the name. One suspects there must have been a battle of some sort there. Who knows? But it's a lovely view looking out through here. And these arches, these rounded arches, are very Moorish. They're all over the place in suburbs of Chicago. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all, Laurie. It's something that I kind of expected that you would see them. So I've gone down the steps. I cut the footage and stopped filming going down the steps because you don't need to see me. If I can cut out the slow, tedious descent down the steps, I will. And I was waiting for a couple of people to move away from this statue. Now, can anyone guess who this might be? Yeah, COVID did a lot for things like little street libraries. He's got a book in his hand. I've already kind of alluded to who he might be. And in case you can't read it, it's Miguel de Cervantes, the author of Don Quixote. Given a rather nice position there, looking out from beneath the Blood Arch. Back up the stairs, back into the square. I would assume a battle taking place there. It seems logical, doesn't it, Sarah? Now, this is a poem written by a school teacher, dedicated to the square of Zoca de Ver. It's in Spanish. I tried to find a translation for it online and I tried to capture the text without any success. So I'm really sorry I can't tell you, but apparently it's a lovely poem. That's all I managed to find online, was that it's a lovely poem. And the school teacher's name was Maria Rubio. Which translates in English to blonde. we take a little walk just up the next corner and then turn around and come back just to see the corner of the Alcazar. Richard and I had been in the other day. There's a military museum, but two of the main floors are undergoing renovation at the moment, so it's really not practical to go in there with a camera. There's not a lot to see. So we go up here just to take a look at the corner, as I said. And there's a rather lovely building, very decorative, very ornate in the brickwork, just across the road from the Alcazar. That's the corner of it, and you can see the big chunky rocks that form the city wall, the Alcazar wall, and then it has been renovated with more modern wall and entrance on this side. The understructure of this building has foundations that date from the Visigoths, apparently. I wonder who buys these swords, as tourists can't take through. I imagine that they would have them shipped home, as you suggested, with some of the things that we could have bought ourselves, Dawn. I did see in one of the Spanish groups, Facebook groups, where someone was bragging about the swords that they'd bought and showed a picture of them. I don't see the point, to be honest, but each to their own. Yes, Richard and I did joke about buying a fold-up one and just tucking it into the backpack. Okay, so we head back down to the main square, which alongside the book fair has outside dining. Annette may have noticed the McDonald's just into our left. I don't think I pointed the camera at it for very long, but there is a McDonald's just here. And that building over there, I don't know what it is, but it has the bunting or the banner for the Spanish colours. All right, so we've left the main square and we're heading now towards the ancient mosque. I'm okay if there is a McDonald's. Okay, so once again we're back into one of these narrow streets. Lots of stone, and the paving is, in a lot of places, they're like rounded river pebbles. I don't know how ladies walk in high heels down these streets. I don't think it's possible. And there's I think that one was a convent. There was a convent to Santa Clara. Cobbles. Yeah, these are big ones, you know, and very rounded. In some places they were, challenging even in flat-soled shoes. Okay, I paused here because there's a car coming down from this direction, there's a truck going through there, and somehow they work it out. Ducking into a doorway and getting out of their way. Those two must be locals. They don't care. They just walk alongside the moving van that's taking up most of the width of the laneway. Did the different umbrella colours mean which language the tour? Oh, good question, Laurie. That didn't even occur to me. You're probably right, you know. because I wasn't going to take a tour anyway, I didn't even take any notice. But that's a really, really good guess. Okay, so there's a fellow carrying his shopping. Now, I did leave this video mostly unedited, but there are points where I do cut out these long stretches of walking a little bit. Love the narrow streets, but must be daunting at night. We didn't venture out much at night because we've kind of reached the age where we go to bed early these days, Dawn. So going out at night, it's actually been a challenge, you know, because a lot of Spanish restaurants don't open until about 7:30 or 8 o'clock at night. So dinner can be challenging. And when I'm looking around like that, it's really just looking at the different shapes and decorations on wooden doors, different balconies, different windows, window dressings, the shutters, the plants. I found it all fascinating. And that's alternative. I don't know what it's an alternative to. So we're heading towards the mosque, the mezquita. And the mosque dates from, it began construction in the year 999 CE, Common Era. And then at some point during its history, the Moors were evicted, and the Christians took over, and it became a Christian church. But we'll see that as we look through the mosque. You'll see the evidence of the change from one faith to another. So there's a tour group up ahead, and I think it was in Spanish, from memory. Needless to say, I wasn't able to understand, so I couldn't stand there and eavesdrop. And it's very hilly. The hills are easier than the steps, though. In some places it's just lots and lots of steps. And that says Calle de Cristo de la Luz, which is the name of the church, dedicada al Maestro. So the Cristo de la Luz rather, is the name of the place of worship we're about to go into once it became a Christian place of worship. I'm reluctant to use the term church. I'm not sure that that's the correct term for it. So it's situated near the city walls. This is one of the gates. And you can see that Moorish shape, again, in the shape of the arches. And they've retained some of the old deteriorating structure down below, but they've fixed it up a little bit but left it kind of rustic, not completely renovated. Okay, so we're about to go in. There is an entry charge, so you can see that the hours and the entrance fee, which was general entrance, was €4. Laurie, this is a recording. It's impossible to do live from Toledo. The signal is very poor, almost non-existent. So I went out one day, this was about a week ago, and did the recording and edited it slightly so that I removed some of the long stretches of walking. But I'm here live. You're talking to me. Sorry, that was flippant. Okay, so we're about to go into the mosque now. Toledo is known as the city of three cultures because on one of our previous tours, we saw the Jewish area. That's because I've switched to Prism, Laurie. As well as it being a recording, I've switched to Prism. So that, I think, is part of the explanation to why it's good. I'm very happy, very happy. So you can see the arches here on the inside. Very much a Moorish design. And the floor, the paving in the floor. And we were really lucky that there was only one or two people inside. So you saw my previous tour. How does this compare to it? Looking up into the interior of the roof. So this is considered to be probably the second most significant mosque in Spain. I love that feedback, Dawn. I love that it's crystal clear. So, as I said, I'm a tourist. I don't have very much knowledge, and I wasn't able to find out an awful lot about the Cristo de la Luz. So I don't know exactly when it switched from being a mosque, a place of Muslim worship, to a Christian place of worship. But what we will see here, you can see the remains of some of the frescoes on the wall. The brickwork, I think, is amazing. It's beautiful. And up here on this side as well, some more of the frescoes. These ones would be obviously from the Christian era, is my guess, with the halos. I don't think that's a Jewish thing. Sorry, a Muslim thing. And more remains of frescoes on the walls over here. So, Cristo de la Luz Antique mosque that says Antigua Mezquita, and I can't actually read the English line there, but it does say that it dates from the year 999. It says 12 entwined horseshoe arches form the main body of the building. And then it describes the Romanesque frescoes. So Romanesque, what era is that? Is that about the 15th or 16th century? And then the Christ of Light. This shows the image, and we will see that now. I was avoiding showing that immediately, but now we get to see the suspended crucifix beneath the dome, with yet another beautiful fresco on the inside of the dome. Moving up to a bricked domed arch, I guess. Again, I'm not familiar with architectural terms either, so you hear it as I see it. It's pretty gorgeous, isn't it, Natalie? It's pretty stunning. I'm so glad I took the time and paid the entrance fee to go and see it, because it's just beautiful. So simple. Laurie says, would think Romanesque would be 1st century or so, when Rome was all over. Oh, okay. Yeah, I actually don't know, Laurie, but yes, you could very well be right. So one last look at the apse and the suspended crucifix before we leave the interior of the mosque. First to third. Sounds reasonable. Okay, so now we're going to go out and have a look at the terrace garden, which is right here, and the view. So it's predominantly a rose garden with some smaller plants as well. And you can see the dome of a church building through there as well. Natalie says, thanks for doing this for us, taping when the signal is not good, and then this is a tour. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Natalie. That's when all the water delivery things were built. Oh, like aqueducts and that sort of thing? But this is just gorgeous. Look at it, the lovely garden up here on the terrace. And we're looking across to the top of one of the gates, the city gates, and back towards the mosque. And the sky, I'm actually loving that dark brooding sky, because it creates a lovely contrast and gives it beautiful colour, I think. And I have no idea what this building is. Just another turret on the city wall, maybe. Couldn't think of the word. What, aqueduct? Yeah, I know. I know what you mean. I'm sometimes grasping for finding the right word as well. Why have complications when simplicity says it all? Absolutely, Sarah. So we have, here we see those cobbles again, Una. And I love that. Now that big dome over there, I think the building we're looking at there is actually an ancient hospital. We came quite close to that when we checked out the park where the artisan fair was going to be held on the day that it got rained out, and I couldn't take you there. But it was alongside another building that needed an entrance fee that we didn't go inside. At least they're small cobbles. Are they small? I thought they were pretty big. I don't know. Maybe I'm just not used to cobbles. So I went a little further up this ramp. It doesn't actually go anywhere, but I just wanted to see if I could get a better view from a little higher up. Oh, Natalie, you have to go there. If you're going to Spain, go to Toledo. I promise you, you'll love it. It is so beautiful. Okay, and then looking back down onto the garden and once more out to the view, just seeing if we can get a different aspect. So that's one of the gates there with the two green tower tops. We actually went very close to that gate when we went inside the Cardinal's Palace on one of my previous tours. Can you imagine? I mean, I'm not I don't practice any religion, but can you imagine if you were associated with this faith at the time when they were practicing, just being in this garden, such a place of tranquility and solitude, it must really heighten, I think, that sense of spirituality. And I'm thinking that that's a wisteria vine. So it must look beautiful when it's in flower. It's an impressive landmark, that building, isn't it? Just standing out there on the horizon. And then you get to see the top of the city wall here as well, and that gate. How far is this by train from Madrid? It's only about half an hour, Laurie. And it's a fast train, so it reached speeds of, at some point, 250 kilometres an hour. So back out, through the gift shop, of course. and some of the original structure is right there in the centre of the floor. I didn't stop and look at anything. All right, so we're going uphill again now. Uphill, heading back in the direction of our apartment. And as I said, I did shorten. I did edit some of the long walking sections out. Otherwise, it was getting a little bit long. But it's a well-kept town, well-maintained. It feels like there's money in this town. I'm certain that there is. That this is a wealthy town. And we have we come into a section here where there's a few places, such as a convent, another church. There's these crosses, wooden crosses up against the wall in several places. But this is all car laneways here. Cars can go down here. It appears to get narrower and narrower, and still the cars can go along. Sarah says, only mainland place in Spain that I've been to is Barcelona. Yeah, that was us before we returned as well. We'd only ever been to Barcelona. Oh, I beg your pardon, we had been to San Sebastian? No, that's not right. We'd been to Vigo. We'd been to Vigo when we were on a holiday in Portugal many, many, many years ago. This light up ahead indicates whether something is coming down the laneway. So it's a two-way laneway, which is bizarre. So we can see when we look up to the left here, and that building that straddles the laneway, and then we've got this light flashing yellow. So I don't know, there must be a sensor or something at the other end that indicates if a car has entered. But look how narrow this is. This is ridiculous. And I turned the volume down on this section of tape as well because there was just a little bit too much of my huffing and puffing, which I thought, you don't really want to hear that. Must be crazy at rush hour. It does get a little mad. We did experience some of the traffic, but I suspect that a lot of people park their cars down the bottom, down below, and catch the shuttle bus up top. Because there's just not enough. There's not enough parking. Now this was, I'm going to actually unplug this microphone and plug my battery in a moment. This was part of a convent, and you can see that they sell sweets, and we get a glimpse of a sister. You may just have caught the sister in there. I'm going to unplug my microphone. Bear with me, there might be a little bump. My battery in. And hopefully that should all be good. Is the video still moving? Has the video stopped? Oh, there we go. I'm learning. Laurie says, I've only been to Malaga and Madrid and I had a stomach thing the whole time. Oh, that's terrible when you're traveling, Laurie. That's really bad. You don't want that. Okay, can everyone still hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up. Let me know. Can you hear me? Because I'm using the phone microphone now. Great. Thanks, Dawn. Thanks, Natalie. Perfect. This is only my second Prism tour, so I'm still finding my way around. And I do have a double adapter that will take both a microphone and a battery cable, but I forgot to bring it downstairs with me. Never mind. And I'm keeping an eye on that sun that I promised you I'd show you when we're finished. Yeah, didn't get to Morocco and was in a hotel room for days. Oh, that's awful. That happened to us in Hanoi, actually. We ended up getting sick in Hanoi. And we were basically, oh, I'm getting that battery warning again. Why isn't it working? Why isn't it working? All right. I'm hoping that this is going to last till the end. We're nearly finished. We're nearly home, nearly back at our apartment. And this just shows, I don't know who Becca is, but the square is dedicated to someone by the name of Becca. There's nothing worse than being sick when you're on holiday or traveling. I'm just glad that it hasn't happened on actual travel days, because that would be worse. That would be worse. All right, so we're almost at the end. Just looking at some of the features, the brickwork and the doors, interesting doors. I probably could have cut a little bit more of this out. Don says, Mum and I gave up on holidays when I was young as there was always one of us unwell. Oh, yeah. Takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? Absolutely. Another majestic door. And that says Virgin Blanc, so I guess that means white virgin. Not sure what that's about. Fingers crossed that we're going to make it to the end and my battery lasts. Because for some reason my backup battery isn't working. I have a feeling my cable might be shot. There's a little antique store here. Look at that old phone, the yellow one. And the knocker, love that door knocker. There's usually tables and chairs out on that platform on our left. And just having a little peek inside someone's foyer there. A little nosy peek. And then just up to our right here, well, there's an administration building. That was the back entrance of where the Tourist Information Office was. I think I showed you that the other day. And just around the corner from this is the top of the escalators that we took up. We took that series of 6 escalators up from the bottom of the hill up to the top of the wall, top of the city, and that's where we popped out. Was in a moment you'll see the top. Can you hear birdsong? Can you hear a dog barking? That was a nice cafe to sit. We tried that one out. There's another church up there. I think that was the one that we could hear the bells from our apartment. And over there is that big solid gate where the well, that dog's here. He's not there in Toledo. He's here live. So that was the gate for the top of the escalators. Okay, hoping this battery's gonna hold just a couple more minutes. Sarah says, what's also annoying is when a pen pal is supposed to show you the part of the country they live, but then don't, and you have to do it yourself. Oh, did that happen? That's sad and disappointing, Sarah. Yeah. I'm still in contact with my very first pen pal, who I started writing to when I was 7 years old. And this is going to age me. Well, not that you don't already know roughly my age, but I found her, or my mother found her address, and we started writing to her from a Barbie magazine. Now, who used to get the Barbie magazine? So that where the umbrellas is, just up ahead on the left, that was our, oh, you watch where this car comes from as well. That was where we, that was our local bar, immediately downstairs from where we were staying. And look up here to the left, how narrow that laneway is. Dawn says, I had an Australian pen pal for 20 years from being 14. Okay. So we are about to finish. And let me get out of here. Right, and how do I turn this around now? Whoop. Rear, front. Just trying to figure out how to get out of there. All right, good, we did it. We've got there. So, what did you think of Toledo? That was the last in a series of 4, I think, that we did in Toledo. And here's what the landscape looks like now. The sun is just going down over that hill. There we go, we made it, the battery made it. Awesome. And then here's what it looks like under the glow of the setting sun, with all that pampas grass up on the hill that you love. Dawn? You're very welcome. Okay, let's turn this camera around and I will sign off because, where am I? We're in a place called Perlora, P-E-R-L-O-R-A. The nearest big city is called Gijón, G-I-J-O-N, which is in the Asturias region. Yeah, there we go. I'll turn this way so you don't have that sun. You're welcome, Cynthia. And we are leaving tomorrow. So tomorrow's a travel day. Tomorrow we are heading to León. And I think the region goes by the same name, which is about 2 hours, I think, on the regular train. Our train's a bit longer tomorrow. So we're heading there. We're going to be there for about 12 days, 10 days. I was supposed to meet Paul there. Some of you may have seen a notification from Paul to say that he had to change his plans. He was going to walk the Camino. He was going to arrive. No, it's in Spain, the north of Spain, Laurie. So we are on the Atlantic coast on the north of Spain. Yeah, Spain. León, L-E-O-N, not Leon, not L-Y-O-N. I know that's probably confusing. So we're going to be in León for about 10 days. Paul was supposed to meet us there on about the 9th day, but he's had to change his plans for family reasons, which is really sad for him. There's a bit going on. I know a little bit more that I won't divulge if he hasn't shared it. That's up to him. So I will go live on that day. It is a Wednesday. I'll be doing a Where Am I Wednesday. So that probably will be on StreamYard because I haven't figured out how to connect 2 channels, 2 YouTube channels to Prism. So it'll probably be on StreamYard. And I'm hoping to get Paul live there with me on that day. And it's my birthday. So we'll have Paul. We'll have the Camino. I will do part of the Camino. We'll get Paul's input and it'll be a Where Am I Wednesday. And yeah, so lots happening that day. Stay tuned. Next Wednesday, of course, we'll be in León also because we arrive there tomorrow. So keep an eye out for all of that. I haven't posted any of those tours yet. It's all stuff I have to do. So thanks again for joining me, everyone. It's been great. I hope you enjoyed Toledo. And I've got a lot to do when I get to León to do some research and investigate the place and check signal and all of those things that I have to do. So look forward to seeing you there. Okay, thanks everyone. Bye for now. Bye.